I can tell I've made some people mad over my career because I'm the type of person like if I see something and I feel it's not right, I'm gonna say something. Uh, no matter who feelings it hurts. I mean, because you gotta treat people the way you want to be treated. You gotta treat people the way you want your wife to be treated, your mom, your dad, kids, because I do feel like that does come back in the long run on you.
Brothers and sisters, brothers and sisters, I don't know what this world is coming to.
You're listening to the Black and Blue Podcast, a discussion and celebration of the roles of African Americans and other minorities in U.S. law enforcement. Your host on the Black and Blue Podcast is Dale Peters, a law enforcement professional with over 20 years experience in the business. Hop on board this Black and Blue train of interviews, current events, and pop culture conversations. So get ready. The Black and Blue Podcast is coming at you right now. Hey, Black and Blue fan, welcome to the latest edition of the Black and Blue Podcast, where we celebrate diversity in U.S. law enforcement. Of course, my name is Dale, and I'm the host. Thank you for pulling up today, because I got another good one for you. But before we do that, let me ask you all, please click those like, subscribe, and bell icons right down here on my YouTube channel. And if you're listening to me on your favorite podcast platform, make sure you rate the Black and Blue Podcast 5 stars. And finally, make sure you follow me on any one of my social media pages for even more content. You can find me everywhere at Black and Blue US. All right, so with that down, let's get to it. My guest today is responsible for keeping travelers safe as the chief of police of a busy airport in Alabama. So Black and Blue fam, let's welcome to the show, Montgomery, Alabama Regional Airport Police Chief, Loyd Jenkins. How you doing, sir?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Blessed and highly favored, man. How you doing tonight?
I'm great. I appreciate you for coming on to the show, man.
Hey, man, thanks for the invite.
You got it. So I said right there in the intro, you were in Alabama. You were near Montgomery. Where is Montgomery, Alabama?
So we're the capital city of Alabama, right in the central area of the state.
Okay.
So we're about an hour from Birmingham and about 2 hours from Mobile.
Okay. And how far is that from Tuscaloosa?
About an hour.
Okay, yeah, I got people from there, from Tuscaloosa, and I guess all of us got family from all over there in the South, Alabama, Mississippi, all that. So nice. And are you a Roll Tider, right? Or are you a Auburn?
No, I'm a War Eagle, man. So I'm an Auburn fan.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, hey, I'm Ohio State, so you know.
Oh, okay. So we okay then.
for now.
Nah.
For now. Yeah, I'm originally from Columbus, Ohio. Moved out to California when I was a teenager, but still got people over there in Columbus. So rolling with it. Mom's went to Ohio State. I didn't go, but you know, still Ohio State, still a Buckeye.
Man, we actually in the earlier parts of my younger years, we stayed in Anaheim, California for a minute. My dad was in the Marine Corps, so we went back and forth between the West and the East Coast. So we were in Anaheim for a minute, then came back to Montgomery probably about early 90s, late 90s going into there.
Okay. So you were raised up in Alabama and all that, right?
Yep.
Yeah. How did you like that as opposed to being out here in Cali and Disneyland of all places?
Yeah, we actually stayed down the street from Disneyland, where we were living at. It was good. When we moved back here, it wasn't as compact as it was living out there in Anaheim. Yeah. So that's one thing that I did like when we moved back here. So I mean, I love it.
More space.
Yes, more space.
More space, more acreage. You know, people not all up on top of you. You
yeah.
know. Nice. All right. And I said that you were the chief of police for Montgomery, Alabama airport. Talk about that airport.
So we probably have about 500,000 passengers come through our airport on a yearly basis. Um, I have a small police force here. We're separate from the city police and the county police. We're kind of our own entity as far as airport authority. So that's the scope that we fall under. I have anywhere from I have a patrol division, investigation division, special service division, because we do get a lot of high profile people come through the airport, and we also have two military bases attached to us. So we have the 187 fighter jet for the Alabama National Guard. So and we
Okay.
also have the Army National Guard. Their Black Hawk unit is attached to us also. We're kind of a joint use airport. So, that kind of heightened things up a little bit because
Yeah.
we have that, we're part of the F-35 project to where we have those new fighter jets coming in. So that's one thing that kind of put us on the map also.
Okay. And then of course you got all the flights coming through. Are there any international flights coming through there?
No, so we're just a regional airport. We don't do the international flights. So
Okay.
that's
Okay.
kind of a good thing for me right now. So I don't have to deal with all that
Yeah.
other stuff.
Right. Right. But there's still TSA there. You got to deal with though, right?
Yeah, you still got to deal with TSA on that part, but we
Yeah. Yeah.
got a pretty quick turnaround. I mean, with us, you can make it about an hour before, and without any hassles going through TSA.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, we got a regional airport near me called Ontario Airport, and that's where I usually fly through. I was last time I was at the airport was about a month ago. Went to Seattle, and then before that went to DC,
Hmm.
and we flew out of Ontario. So yeah, it's nicer than going all the way to LAX, which I'm sure is nicer than
Man,
going all
yes.
the way to what's the big airport? The one in
So we have Birmingham is a bigger airport than us, and
Birmingham.
then Atlanta is about 2 hours away from us. So
Oh,
it's
that was a
definitely
crazy
better.
airport.
Yeah, definitely better
Yeah,
than going to any one of them.
I hate flying in there. I hate flying. Hate flying in Atlanta, but all right, cool, cool. And how long you been with the airport?
So I've been the chief of police at the airport for going on 3 years now. Before that, I was the chief of police for the city of Tuskegee. Uh,
Oh,
and
nice.
yeah, I was there as a chief for about a year, almost 2 years. And then before that, I was the assistant chief there. And then before that, I spent majority of my career in a city called Millbrook, Alabama. I was there for about 12 years. So I started off as a patrol officer there, made it up to the rank of lieutenant. So I did everything from SWAT team, special services, commander. So it was a
Okay.
nice place to be. And then before that, I started at Alabama State University, so ASU.
Okay. Nice.
So that's why I actually started my law enforcement career with the Alabama State University.
Okay. And going back to Tuskegee, since we're on the topic of airports, we all know the Tuskegee Airmen, right?
Hmm.
Big history there.
Big history.
The big history. Did they play a big role? Their history over there in the airport or anything in the city,
Uh, in the city of Montgomery or the city of Tuskegee?
the city of Tuskegee.
Yeah, they do. They actually got a museum there on a small general aviation airport that they have. It's a nice museum. I mean, they had people from all over the world that came to visit that museum to learn more about the Red Tails unit. Uh, so aviation is a big part of Tuskegee, and Tuskegee University also just made major news. I think they have an aviation program now at their university there. So I think that's stellar.
Nice, nice. So, getting back to your role here as the chief of Montgomery Airport, talk about some of the things that you guys deal with on a daily basis over there. I'm sure traffic is a big one, right? You have a traffic unit.
Yeah. So we have traffic in it. So it's day to day operation. We're going to deal with those inbound and outgoing flights. Uh, So you're gonna have those influx of people when they come in. We also got to deal with the disgruntled people that missed their flight. So
Mm-hmm.
they still have to deal with that major part on that end. And like I said, we do have to maintain high visibility, high profile because of those fighter jets that are there. So we have a
Yeah.
command center. We have about maybe 300 cameras that view the whole property. One particular area of the airport consists of about 5,000 acres. So it's a big area to cover with sometimes limited manpower. So we try to make the best of it. So
For sure. For sure. What about narcotics? Is that a problem going through there that you guys deal with?
not really because we really don't deal with it too much on the commercial side. You'll have those a couple people that may have some small things they forget that's in their bag or on their persons or anything like that. But we really too much don't deal with any like big major narcotic issues there. Um,
Okay.
we do have a fixed operating base attached to us. It's kind of like a private side where you get your private pilots, private jets come in. That's a busy area of the airport for us because we have a lot of people. I didn't realize that many people had private jets and planes until I started working actually at the airport. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so that's a big major part too that we have to make sure we monitor over there because it could
Yeah.
be how everybody see the movies, so you do have to pay
Right.
attention to it.
Yeah. Got your G4 and all those whatever private jets and all that when they come
Yeah.
in. Yeah. Yep. Yep. I'm sure that's just like on a smaller scale for us with boats. They say the two best days of having a boat is when you buy it and then when you sell it. Two
True
best
that.
days of
That's
having it.
true.
Yep.
That's true. Very true.
Yep. For sure.
I,
For
I
sure.
actually looked at I actually thought about buying a small aircraft. Then I looked at the maintenance costs and I'm like, I'm not gonna be flying that much. So
Yeah. Yeah. So you a flyer too? You a pilot?
no, I'm not a pilot. I was actually about to start the journey to start getting my pilot's license. But then I looked at buying an aircraft outright and with the maintenance costs on, I think I'll probably join a flying club or go in with a bunch of people because
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be traveling that much.
Yeah, I know a couple guys that where I live. There's a little small airport where they fly out of. So I know a couple guys that either have a plane or they got their pilot's licenses, and it looks like fun. They post stuff on their socials about the flights that they go on to. Yeah, it looks like fun, but that's a lot of hours you got to spend up there.
Especially with the amount of time I work, I was like, I never really get to enjoy it for the amount of money
Yeah.
you put in.
Yep. And fuel ain't no joke right now either.
No, it's not. Definitely not.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about your career. You say you started at Alabama State and then in law enforcement. What kind of drove you towards this career?
It's actually, I can go back a little bit. So in junior high school, we had this thing called micro society. So they would imitate city government. So they would have a mayor's office, police department, fire department, and all that. And then they also would run it kind of like a small city. And then I had it was a state trooper. He was a colonel at the time. He came and spoke at the school, and part of that program, I became the chief of police for that small city. So I guess it got instilled in me at that age in junior high school, and I guess it stuck with me all the way through.
Nice, nice. And then so your first agency there was Alabama State. Were you going to school there at the same time or?
No. At which time with the micro
What?
society?
No, with your first agency, which was Alabama State, right?
No, I wasn't going to school there. I did start off school there, but I wound up, how trying to figure yourself out in life. So I wound up taking
Yes.
some years off. Uh,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna be honest. The reason why I started there was my wife was going to school there, and they were giving incentives to where employees and if you work there, you get half off tuition. So I wound up working there so she can get the half off the tuition, and it just stuck in.
Right, right. And how long did you do there?
I was there 2 years. Yeah, I was there 2 years, and I left there and went to the city of Millbrook. I'm gonna be honest. I love working over there. It's a different atmosphere of policing when you work on a college campus,
It
especially when you're at
is.
a large university. It's busy. You meet a lot of people, and you can get all the sports that you want over there. So
Yeah.
sometimes it can be it's very demanding on a police force working at a university.
Yes, absolutely, no doubt. Once upon a time, I spent about a year UCLA PD before I moved on to the city, and yeah, it's just like you said, it's busy. You can imagine UCLA, and
Yes,
that's like a city in itself. So yeah,
yes, sir.
it was a good time over there, real good time. And then, so you say you've done a whole bunch of stuff in your career. You've done SWAT. You've done all these other sorts of things, lieutenants, commanders. Let's talk about your career. What was kind of the best assignments that you did when you were working your way up the ladder?
So my best assignments, I like working the school events.
Okay.
It gave me a better chance to interact with the public. And then now that I look back, I see the small kids that were at the elementary school and junior high and high school now, starting to start their career. And it's like a couple of them
Yeah.
that went through my junior police academy there, they grew up and became police officers. Some went to do other things. But I find it rewarding to see when you talk to a person or you gave them some insight or direction in life, and then they take that and go do something with it. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
for
all you can
sure.
ask for.
Yeah, yeah. Is there an assignment that you didn't get to do that you kind of wished, now that you're the chief, you can't go back and be on a motor, can't go back and be on a mounted unit or or anything like that. Anything that you wish you would have done in your career, you
No,
didn't get a chance.
I'm gonna be honest. I kind of got lucky. Kind of everything that I kind of wanted to do and set out to do, I had an opportunity to do it. Like I said, another one was too when I was part of the training unit. I always wanted to be a firearms instructor, and that like the opportunity came up, and so pretty much everything that I wanted to do, I've had an opportunity to do.
Nice, nice. And then, so now we're talking about, 2024 and things that affected us going back, even before George Floyd, but specifically 2020 and George Floyd and all that sort of stuff. How did that incident kind of affect you guys out there in Alabama?
Well, I think it had a trending effect across the nation.
Yes.
One, it made us have to look back as law enforcement officers on tactics and communication, how we deal with people, and also put more emphasis on developing better training and developing better officers. Because like in any profession, you're not gonna everybody that's part of the profession is not gonna always be a good apple. We just have to make sure that if we see something happen, we got to say something and not let it fruition or fester and become something else. And you got a two-headed monster that you got to deal with.
No doubt. When that happened out here in California, me personally, I would always be one to speak up if I saw something. But now they made it actually a law duty to intercede. That if you saw something, you would be liable if you didn't, interject yourself into that situation. Was that something that you guys had to codify in the law, or is that something that just still working its way out over there in Alabama?
No, it's been on the books for a minute now. And even with me, I can tell I've made some people mad over my career because I'm the type of person like if I see something and I feel it's not right, I'm gonna say something.
Yeah,
No matter who feelings it hurts. I mean, because you gotta treat people the way you want to be treated. You gotta treat
for
people the way you
sure.
want your wife to be treated, your mom, your dad, kids, because I do feel like that does come back in the long run on you. And and it also it also just helps build a better rapport with us because we already know, right now it seems like it's divided to where um, the police, the law enforcement don't get a good rap because sometimes we don't get painted in a good light, and sometimes we don't try to paint ourselves in a better light all the time. So,
That
it's
part right
just
there. That
yes,
part. Yep. And then also, they paint us all with the same brush. Something that happens out
yes,
here in Cali can affect you guys thousands of miles out there in Alabama, right?
yes, yes, sir. That's all it takes. And then the way it is now is not like how it used to be. When we were younger. If something happened, you may hear about it a couple days later or sometime next week, sometime, or you may not even ever hear about it. But now it's just if something happens, it's an instant message to wherever you are in the world.
Yeah. Everything's viral now. Everything's small snippets that you see on the socials and on the news with the media and all that. Yeah, absolutely. Do you guys have like a robust unit out there, social media, to kind of uh, make your own branding, make your own message out, put your own message out?
Yes. And that's one thing I've been on because like from every agency that I've been at, I do feel like you have to rebrand certain things. You have to make sure you get that message out to everybody, the
Yeah.
message that you want to portray out to everybody. Uh, and that's one thing I can say that I've been lucky to have at the airport. And even when I was in Tuskegee, when I was in Millbrook, social media was kind of on the forefront. It wasn't as it is now, but with those last two positions, well, with this current position and the last position I had, and social media has been my driving force because, uh, like I say, it brings you together with people that you don't normally come in contact with. And I feel like that's
Right.
been able to help me in my career. Like even now, we use LinkedIn, Facebook, and they kept get our message out and kind of show what we have going on at the airport with the police and all the different areas of the airport. Also, like right now, I think I just did a day in the life. I think it's supposed to hit LinkedIn next week, I believe. So
Yeah, that's interesting. I do want to talk about the day in the life of an airport officer. Can you kind of talk about what the day in the life is? Do you have different assignments for like guys that have to work patrol and then guys that work on the inside, or do you rotate, or how does that work?
yeah, so like I said, we are a small agency, so it's kind of a rotation with the manpower that I have. So we may have
Mhm.
because we're the main communication center for the airport also. So they may be a little bit working communications, which entails you know CAD entries, um, monitoring cameras, and just day to day stuff inside there. We still have our patrol that monitors to the front, perimeter checks, inside perimeter checks. Also, with my command staff, they may be doing special services stuff. And in my investigation unit, you already know they're going to be doing like the felonies ranging from simple assaults all the way up to some white collar crimes that we deal with also. Um, Also with me, the way it is, I'm kind of tasked with two things. I'm also the airport security coordinator. So that means anything. I'm pretty much the head liaison officer for between government agencies, TSA, and
Yeah.
anybody that would be in that area that we have to act with. So that means access control, security features, all that falls under the police department too. And that's another headache
What's
within itself too.
I bet, I bet. What's the relationship and what's the roles of you guys as opposed to like TSA?
So we're the main law enforcement unit for TSA. I mean, for the airport. A lot of people don't understand. TSA is kind of broken down into to several different divisions. They have the screeners; those are the people that you see at the checkpoint. Most
Mhm.
of the time, they're going to be just civilian employees. They also have inspectors that inspect the airport and make sure that regulations are in place. And then they also have a law enforcement division uh, that have agents that have arrest powers. A lot of times at the international airports, you have customs and border. A lot of times, though, would be law enforcement officers with arrest powers also.
Okay, okay. And then so you work hand in hand with them. They do their thing, you do your thing,
Pretty
and
much, yeah.
pretty much. You guys have like a emergency services unit. Things that happen on the planes and getting on. Is that your responsibility as well?
Yes. So we have a mutual aid agreement with the Air National Guard because, like I was telling you before, they're attached. Uh, their base is attached to our airfield also. So we
Hmm.
use their fire department as our main primary ESU unit. So they handle primary for plane crashes, medical emergencies, anything like that. They respond and help with that. And the city of Montgomery is the secondary unit that we use in cases of anything, big events, or they may be tied up on something else. That'd be the secondary unit we call.
Nice, nice. And then this show is called Black and Blue, the Black and Blue podcast, and two of us are Black African Americans, and so we like to show ourselves, put our face out there. What's your agency look like? Does it are you the only one that looks like us on the department? Is it a pretty diverse department?
Well, it's I'm gonna be actually right now. Everybody is African American except one officer.
Okay,
Uh, so we're pretty much a uh, black agency. I hate to say it like
yeah,
that, but
yeah. Is that typical for the area? Say like the city?
so Montgomery is a diverse city. So right now, I can say that's probably the demographic going across the river region. You have those smaller cities out. Even when I was with the city of Millbrook, it was kind of in reverse. It was probably 25 white officers and maybe three or four black officers. When I was there at the time, I think the assistant chief, the captain, and myself as lieutenant were the only black officers there at the time, and then we started getting more people in, going through recruitment, trying to get some diversity there, and it started to change a little bit. Um, but even with the city of Montgomery, it's pretty much about 50-50 or 60-40 on African
Wow,
American versus white officers.
wow, wow. And that's always a good thing to get more diversity in these positions, and especially more positions like yours in
Oh yeah,
command staff
definitely.
positions. Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
you always want a police force that mimics your demographic of your city.
Yeah,
It helps because like I mean, it's just human nature to gravitate more to a person that looks like you, uh, to feel more comfortable when you're dealing with a situation. So it always helps to have that mixture of different races within a police department.
right. And but dealing with an airport, you deal with everyone from every walk of life coming through there, right?
Oh yes, definitely that. So we
Yeah,
get everybody to come through the
yeah,
airport. So
absolutely.
I
Yep.
mean, it's.
Is
I mean, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just saying, is there a theft problem that you guys have to deal with as well?
Not really. I'm gonna be honest with you. We don't.
Really? Okay.
No, we don't. Uh, Surprisingly, we don't. And then, like I say, because of the amount of security features that we have in place, it's very hard. You may get away right then, but after we start looking at everything, we're probably gonna find out who you are.
There you go. There you go. And there's you guys have statewide powers, correct?
So we're fall under a municipality. So the way our government is structured is it's a it's kind of it's a city government airport, but a authority put in place is the governing body for it. So we fall under kind of a municipality.
Nice, nice. And then you guys can, you said you do all your follow up investigations for the most part, so that that's a full range of activities and duties that officers can expect to do if they want to go work for your department, right?
Yes, and I'm actually in the process of starting a K9 unit now. So I've been talking with one company on getting the training set up and the K9 to try to get that in place for is something that is needed that hadn't been there
Absolutely.
before.
Yeah. What sort of dogs are you looking for?
So we're looking for a explosive and gunpowder trace. So we're basically looking for weapons.
Yeah, yep. I've seen airports where they, the dogs walk through with the handler, and they're smelling whatever they're trying to smell for. Especially at an airport, explosives and stuff like that for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Because I've
Yeah.
seen it though, even over my 2 years, uh, you'll be amazed at how many people say they forget guns in bags and come try to come through the
Yep.
checkpoint. Then it sends off all these kind of alerts. So I mean, you'll be
Oh
surprised on
yeah.
that.
No, I wouldn't because I know people are stupid. people people try to do the craziest things, and they tell us the craziest things. But yeah, I would not be surprised at all. Yeah, for sure. So talk about, we talked about some of your favorite activities that you've done as a police officer. Let's talk about, your job as chief of police. What do you get out of that, and what's kind of the best part of your job as a chief?
The best part of my job, I believe, is networking, I believe, because you come in contact with so many different people from agencies, uh, different walks of life, and like I say, you get to meet a lot of people, and it puts things in kind of perspective for you. Uh,
Yeah.
like like now, I'll be going to DC in a couple weeks to go do some things up there. Um, but I think the best part of it is being able to network with different agencies, to build that rapport. And
Yeah.
pretty much that's the
How
best
about how
part
about
of
on the flip side? What's kind of the more challenging parts of your job?
it. uh, the most challenging part is people, managing people.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the most that's probably the tedious part of it.
Yeah, even from first line supervisor, I can imagine all the way up, but dealing with different personalities
Yeah,
on the job, and it's kind of like being their parents.
yeah,
Makes part of your job as a supervisor is making sure they don't get themselves into trouble and they don't get your agency into trouble, right?
yes, yep, yes,
Yeah, for
exactly
sure.
right.
Yeah, yeah, that's people. That's people for sure. And so you were talking about, you went to ASU, went to work over there so that the wife could go to school there. What's the family situation like for you right now?
So I'm married. Been married about 16 years, and I got four kids. My oldest son is 21. My youngest son is 2. He just turned 2 in May.
Wow,
Yeah,
congratulations there, Chief.
yeah.
Any of them thinking following in dad's footsteps?
I think my youngest May. My oldest son, he was going to school in Huntsville at A&M, but he took a break off, so he's just been just working. So I tried to get him to go in the military, but he's like he didn't want to cut his hair, so you know,
He didn't want to cut his
he
hair.
didn't want to cut his
Yeah,
hair. But he's doing good. I'm proud of him.
yeah. What do they think about dad's job?
With my oldest son, uh, we really don't talk much about it. Um, he knows what I do because he's been there since the beginning of it. So he has an appreciation for it, and he understands the day to day tasks that that go on, and he understands that hey, it may be a possibility that you may not make it home. So I try
Yeah,
to talk to him, steal things into him, and make sure that he understands one that I love him, and two that whatever goals he just needs to keep striving for them because
right.
the old saying is it's hard to hit a moving target, right? So you have to make sure you stay moving in your personal life too, so that where you don't become stagnant and get hit with those things you ain't supposed to get hit with. So you just keep moving and striving for the future. So that's what I try to tell them.
Facts right there. Yep, yep. What's the family and friends, particularly say like his family and friends, we had like we were talking about earlier, 2020 and all that coming, defund and all that sort of stuff. What did family and friends, and particularly say like his friends, think about law enforcement, and what was your role and his role in kind of letting people know about what we do and our philosophies as well?
Well, like I was saying before, we really didn't talk much about that part. So even here in Alabama, it was a kind of a national saying of defund the police, but we really didn't get that here. So a lot of things that I seen that other cities and other agencies were dealing with, it didn't trickle down as bad here. Um, so
Why do you think that is?
politics. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it was the
Okay.
demographic of the state. Alabama is kind of a red state.
Hmm.
Well, kind of it is red state. And I think that's probably one of the reasons it didn't
Yeah.
trickle down as bad here. Um, and then also at the same time we had some other things happen too, to where some murder rates increased in the city throughout different parts of the state. So I didn't see it really trickling down with that narrative of defunding the police here. So we didn't really have to deal with that much that part here.
Okay. Okay. So is it kind of pro law enforcement, you would say?
Yes, in the river region area where I am, they're pretty much pro law enforcement.
I would say that, even both sides of the aisle, blue, red, whatever you want to call them, are pro law enforcement. Everyone wants to feel safe in
They
whatever
do.
communities they're in. And, people all the way from the hood, all the way up to, Beverly Hills, they want to feel safe. They want the police. I would just say a lot of those communities just wanted to be policed correctly, with
There you
dignity.
go. There you go.
Yeah,
And
with
I,
dignity
I
for sure.
and you definitely that, like you said before, we want. I mean, everybody wants the police, but they want to be treated fairly. They want to feel safe, and they want to know if they call that they're gonna get the service that they're asking for.
Yeah, yep, for sure. So we were talking about earlier, some things that you don't have time to do anymore. What do you kind of do in your free time? Do you get any free time nowadays?
Nah, I don't get in free time anymore, much
You
that
like,
more.
what's that? What is free time? It's kind
So
of
what?
kind of the perils of being the chief.
Yeah, it is, man. One thing, I'm an artist, so I do pencil drawings, art that way, realistic. Uh, that's one thing I wish I had more time to do, and I need to start making more time for it because it's relaxing. So
Yeah, yeah. On the thought of relaxing, another big term and a big thing nowadays is wellness.
yes.
Talk about how that affects us in law enforcement, and how, if at all, you and your agency is kind of latching on to that.
Well, wellness is actually kind of the key to success and longevity because and we all see it because I was just talking to somebody about this yesterday. I had a friend that passed away a couple months ago, and I'm like, okay, we work 25, 30 years for a retirement, and then we get there, and then a month before or a month after we retire, we pass away and don't even get to enjoy it. So
Yep.
that
Facts.
yeah, and I've seen that over these past 20 years. I've seen that it's almost like a cycle almost because you work so much, and a lot of times you don't take care of yourself in the process. So you beat yourself down for 25 years, and then that's it. It's like your body give
Yeah.
up on you. And I do try to preach that. Even myself, I'm not saying I'm in the best shape, but I do try to watch what I eat. I try to work out every now and then because I know it time is winding down. I know when I open my eyes up after I wake up, that's another day that I can't get back. And
Right.
so
For
I do
sure. Yeah.
I do try to preach wellness. I do try to talk to my guys like, hey, uh, change the way you eat. Uh, I haven't got to the point where I put a wellness program in to where that I make them work out on shift or anything like that yet, but it may be coming, especially if we get the facilities for it. Um, but you gotta make sure you take care of yourself.
Got to. Yes. Yeah. Just like you were just talking about, you worked yourself to death for 25, 30 years. And, especially in this job with stress, all those stresses that build up and then you retire and you can't even enjoy it. Cause
No, you can't.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think those insurance companies, they know that.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure they
That,
know that.
yeah. That's why they dangle all those nice, retirement benefits knowing that they're not going to have to pay out on that anyway. So we got to beat the system. Beat the
Oh yeah,
system. Take care of
definitely that.
yourself. Take care of yourself. Yep, for sure, for sure. So, you keep talking about, you have a small agency. Are there any plans to kind of expand?
It depends. And it's also about the amount of airlines and flights that we get in. The airport is actively looking to get more flights, more airlines in. If we start introducing cargo in, it may wind up changing us to an international airport. So it's definitely going to have to look at expanding the agency then. So, like I said, as the airport grow, I foresee the agency growing. But they're in the process of doing that now. So don't have a timeline on it, but I do think in the next 5 to 10 years, it may it may double if the resources come in.
Okay. And are you fully staffed right now, or are you looking for people?
I'm looking for people.
Just
So
like everybody else, right?
just like everybody else.
Yeah. So what kind of sets you apart from, say, the municipal, the city agency, the county agency? Why would an officer want to go work for your department?
It's a different style of policing. Um, we still have to do the normal day to day things. We still may have to arrest a person for a domestic. You still may have to get arrest a person for stealing or shoplifting. We still do the normal day to day things that a normal police officer would do. But with that, we have the aviation aspect to it. So you have to learn the different regulations, compliance, and it opens a broader scope to you to see, hey, it's not just there's another form of policing out there other than just going from call to call.
Yeah, for sure. Yep, for sure. And on the topic of what you can do in your career, let's talk about an interesting call in your long career that you've had. That, maybe is something that you talk about when you're done. You have a story to tell.
Oh, I
Just
got
something you're
plenty of
proud of.
stories.
Something
Got
that you're
plenty of
proud of.
stories.
Yeah, yeah. Talk about something that you're proud of, or something that comes to mind when you think of a good call that you had in your career.
Let's see. Good call.
Could be an investigation that you were a part of, capturing somebody that needed to be captured, uh, adding closure to a family that needed some closure on something.
I'm going through them now. It's so many, so I'm trying to pick out a good one.
Just throw one at us, and I'll
Okay.
edit out this silence.
All right. So
Maybe.
so so one was well, I guess that won't be a good call. Let's come back to that question. Give me another one. I'm gonna get a good one for you.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, well, I was going to ask you on the flip side, what was the call that you really dread? That's something that works on your mind when you think about it.
Oh,
Something that you needed some closure yourself.
I remember that one. I was actually just thinking about this one the other day. Um, so I was this probably was about maybe 10 or 15. Yeah, this probably was about 15 years ago. Um, I got a call to where a child was missing. So you get to the area, uh, and we start looking. I get ready to pull up to the house to where the call comes from, um, and I'm walking around the house, and I see a pool there, but the gate is locked. Uh, so as I'm walking up to it, I hear a guy just give like this gut wrenching just scream. So I go inside, and it's a baby in the pool. It's probably about a 19-month old. I think he was 19 months old. And so I got in, got him, got him out the pool. And when I picked him up, I mean, I already knew. Uh, so start doing the chest compressions, trying to do CPR on him, and wind up getting them to the medics. And the bad part about it, I was in the process of looking for a house, and I was telling my wife, I was like, "Hey, I think we should get a pool. I think we should get a pool." And then I went to that call, and it was like I didn't want a pool after that.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
but
That's sad. Always, the death of a child is the worst thing you can ever witness.
and the caveat for it, the guy, he was a police officer at the time, and I kind of knew of him, but I didn't know him personally. And after that, we became friends, and he wound up coming working for me like years later. Uh, and we still talk to each other to this day. Uh,
And how's he doing today?
he's doing good. He's doing good. I think he is now the dean of a correctional facility school. So I think that's what he's doing now.
Okay, all right. Yeah, people don't realize those sorts of things that we see. Maybe not daily, but definitely throughout our career that some people will never ever see in their lifetimes. And those are things that we deal with, all the time. That again, going back to wellness, these are things that stressors that we deal with.
Oh yeah, definitely that. I mean, you see so many things on a day-to-day basis. You try to you try to compartmentalize them, but like I tell people all the time, hey, if you need to talk to somebody, hey, only thing you need to do is let me know it, and I will set it up for you. Because, like I say, you 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 can't hold it in, and sometimes you're gonna need to talk to that outside source.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. And on the topic of talking, and your position as chief of police, um, talk about how you rose to that position. What did you have mentors that kind of helped you out along the way, and do you kind of mentor people in their careers?
Oh yeah, it was a lot of people that I ran in contact with. Uh, it's crazy because I remember when I was working at Alabama State University, and I say his name. Uh, it's Chief Marquez James. We were both officers there. He was actually my training officer, one of my training officers when I was at ASU. And he was like, "Hey," he's like, "Hey, Loyd." He's like, "Man, I see something in you, man." He said, "Man, you're gonna do something great one day." And he wound up becoming the chief of police in Tuskegee first, and this was like maybe 13 years later. And he called me and said, "Hey, you remember we was talking?" He said, "Man, I thought about you. I want you to come to Tuskegee. And I want you to be my assistant chief of police." And so I went there and started working with him, going through the process. And even before him too, my assistant chief in Millbrook was a good mentor. It's just when and I'm the type of person too, like if I see that I want to do something, I'm gonna reach out. I'm gonna ask you like, how did you get there? What was your process? What do I need to do? Or what can I do in there? So I think that's helped me over the years get to where I need to go.
Yeah, yeah. And what about those coming up behind you?
Oh, you got to. Like every day I try to instill even where I am now. I come in and like, hey, I sit down and have those 5 minute conversations with them. Uh, hey, what do you want to do in life? What do you want to do in your career? Where do you want to be at? How can I help you get there? Uh,
Mm,
and like I tell them, I don't want to hold this stuff in because it makes me proud to say, hey, if I'm coming to your swearing in where you're getting sworn in as a chief of police or a major commander of a unit, I could be like, hey, I was part of that process to help you get there. So I'm gonna give you every tool and resource that you need to get there. So that's why I tell them, hey, my door is always open if you got a question on what do you need to do to get to the next level in your career.
sure, sure. And then you've had this time on the books. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years?
So I have a training company in Montgomery also. So we train like law enforcement officers, military, and we also do security training too. So I think after I retire, I'll probably start doing that a little bit more. And then I'm also in the process of trying to get an indoor firing range open. So if I get that open, my retirement probably gonna be a little bit sooner. So I can
Okay, all right.
so
Yep. Hey,
that's
and then
that's
when you
what
retire, you might have time to pursue that pilot's license.
hey, definitely that. And if the range do good,
Yeah,
I could probably buy a plane then.
there you go. There you go. I always wanted to be like a helicopter pilot. It seems like that'd be fun to do. Um, Obviously never had the chance to do it, but yeah, that's
Hey
something
man,
I would
hey,
like to have done.
you still got time now.
No, yeah, I guess it's never too late for sure.
Never
Yeah,
too
but
late. Never
yeah,
too
for
late.
sure. Yep, never too late. And then hey, I appreciate you coming down. Before I get you out of here though, how about some words of advice for maybe someone that's looking to get into this profession?
So I tell people too, if you're gonna get into this profession, you have to make sure that you take the good with the bad. You're gonna have to take those long nights. You're gonna have to take those grunt details, but also when the good things come through, embrace them because it's a rewarding career. You meet a lot of people, and you can have a lot of influence on a person's life. So that's why I tell everybody: just treat everybody the way you want to be treated, or you want a family member to be treated. And I think that's too was has helped me in my career because I just been able to be tactful with people.
Sure. Yeah, good words to live by. And yeah, I appreciate you, Chief, for coming on and letting us know what's going down in Montgomery, Alabama.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, did
So
Baltimore win?
so I turned that off
Oh,
when we got when we got going here. But I'll check it out as soon as we get on there. But so it's not Roll Tide. Is what do they say
it's
for
it's War Eagle.
War Eagle? Okay, War
War
Eagle.
Eagle.
Yep,
There we go.
War Eagle. All right, Chief. You take care, and I'll get talk to you soon.
Okay, thank you. Thank you again,
Uh,
man. It was nice to meet you.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
All right, now that's what I'm talking about. Another great interview with another great guest. I want to thank Montgomery, Alabama Regional Airport Police Chief Loyd Jenkins for dropping some knowledge on us here today. And if you guys got some value out of our conversation, go on ahead and leave me a comment down there in the section below. I'll be back in another couple weeks with another great interview just like this one, but till then, y'all know the phrase, stay black and blue. I'll holla at you. I'm out.
This has been a Maitre D Entertainment presentation.